action.
Matt, it's so good to see you. Thank you for coming in from LA.
Of course.
You are an actor,
Yes.
and you are positioned to be Mark Feinman in the movie Calling God to the Witness Stand.
Yes.
And the basics of what I know about your character are that you're fresh out of law school, you're young, late 20s, and I'd like you to describe your character. I have some ideas, but how do you want to play that character as the young lawyer on the plaintiff side?
Mm-hmm.
You have two older women on the plaintiff side too. They're more of the lead counsel, but you're there and you're helping Anna Biltmore make this case. And somehow, I take a liking to you because you seem to have such great things to say. So talk to us about your character.
Sure. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. So Mark Feinman, he's fresh out of law school. He's very young, idealistic. But, he has been through a decent amount of schooling and has a lot of real-world experience, even though it's limited compared to his colleagues. And there is an element to him that I want to bring a kind of an unshakable quality. This is somebody that can't be bought, and in the world we live in, a lot of people can, and a lot of people are. There's a lot of corruption in all areas of our society, and this is somebody that is acutely aware of those things and is holds very true to his morals and his values, and truly cannot be persuaded by the dark side. So I want to bring that to him. However, that's not to say that he's naive. He's definitely not naive.
We think he's naive.
Right.
But he's not.
And honestly, I think there's an element to Mark that is a bit calculated. And that could be kind of a shadow side of him, but I think he keeps it in check and uses it appropriately, but there is an element of calculatedness because you have to know the enemy, and that's the way the game is played. So there is a little bit of that in there as well. Yeah.
So the court case is about Anna Biltmore being put in a hospital against her will.
Yes.
When she was 25 and then again at 50. So you happen to, I'm just going to make this up, you happen to have a friend that was hospitalized. Nobody knows about this, but that's underneath. You've, going through your 20s, one of your friends in college,
Yes.
in law school, was hospitalized. Yeah. And the scenario was, he just had sleepless nights. He wasn't sleeping, he was studying and trying to keep up with it. You knew him as a normally functioning, bright person, but he went through a period of sleepless nights and he started to get a little imbalanced, right? So you can, you remember, it's your friend. Yeah. And they carted him away into a hospital. Tell us about what that might be like for you to be helping defend or be the plaintiff on the plaintiff team for Anna Biltmore, but that pain. You know what it's like to be falsely accused, to be put away. Talk to us about how that comes out in the courtroom or when you're researching.
Sure.
Just imagine that, yeah.
So, what's really important to me with this character is to fuse a lot of who I am into it, and I am a deeply empathic person. I always have been. I know that I don't literally feel this, but I feel as if I can take on what other people are feeling in the room around me. I feel like it passes through me a lot of the time. And I think Mark is exactly the same way. I really do think that he, on some level, literally feels the pain and the injustice of what his friend went through. And so, when I'm in this role, fighting this fight on behalf of anyone who's been through what I've witnessed my friend experiencing, I do feel that Mark literally is fighting for himself as well, because he's experiencing the emotions, the trauma of what is done to thousands of people across the country on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So I think he's taking a lot of it on, and it's as if it's happening to him, even though it's not technically.
Yeah, I mean, you're making that the case personal. You're going to
It's
feel
very personal.
Anna's pain.
Yeah.
When you start to see the court case unroll and hear her stories, and she was labeled bipolar, but in general, she's also been diagnosed, or not in general, specifically, as not bipolar. What does that do to you when people are labeled? You're sitting there again, trying to come up with the right support for her in court, and you see all these witnesses. What are you whispering to the lead attorneys? What are you trying to get them to go after? The mental system, mental health system.
There is a deep feeling of frustration because Mark is trying to snap people out of it, is the best way I would describe it. Mark wants to, and this is how I feel as well, shake people by the shoulders and kind of get rid of this diseasification of human experience, is the way I see it and the way the character sees it as well. These diagnoses, I'm not saying they're unfounded, but there are so many cases where, in my opinion, especially when it comes to depression and anxiety types of issues, I would wager that a majority of those cases are relating to trauma and things that have gone awry in life. That's life, and there's this, there's this systemic problem I see in the world of demonizing any kind of negative emotion. And those are there for a reason. They're part of life. And I think we need to learn how to work with our feelings, move through them. I really believe the only way out is through. And when I'm speaking for myself, I'm also speaking for Mark, by the way.
Yeah.
And so that's the energy that I want to bring to him in the courtroom. It's tempered, but it I picture it almost like a geyser field, it's he's kind of quaking, and he's got this quiet intensity about him, and then it just kind of bursts out a little bit. But I don't know, I personally, in my life experience, I have always felt why aren't people more passionate? Why don't you see what people are feeling more? Why are we all participating in this charade that we don't feel things? I want to see people. I want to see you act out. It's freaking me out that you're not freaking out, as I heard in a song recently.
I can picture you talking to the two older female lawyers like that. It's because they are following laws and legal precedents and bringing up all these facts. And I can picture you talking like that to them back at the office.
Yes.
Why aren't you feeling? Wait a minute. Don't you feel Anna's pain? I can picture you doing that. All right, one last question, and we're just inventing this. What do you want to see happen by the end of the court case? What do you want to see Anna get awarded or win, or, and then what if she loses? What do you still want to see happen? What do you want to stir up in this court case?
Well, I don't want to speak for Anna, but what I want to see come out of it is I don't care about any kind of compensation or prize or settlement or anything like that. All I care about is seeing a complete change of this system. That's all I care about.
Wake it up.
Yes, if the ideal for me would be to see concrete change, laws put into place around this. I can't say what those would be right off the bat because it's a tricky topic, but I think that the ideal result for myself and for Mark would be to see a total overhaul and reimagining of the psychiatric system.
Excellent. So, do you know what Anna Biltmore's favorite phrase is?
What?
It's "we is our medicine." We is our medicine.
Yes.
Can you use that? Can that be a mantra for you too?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you say it?
We is our medicine. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. you.
All done.